Hi, welcome back to my channel, Hustle and Slow, where I talk all about entrepreneurship, making money from home, reselling, and building multiple streams of income. I'm going to do let's call it a reselling report for February. I try to do these once in a while. I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent about it. I think the last time I did one was August of last year, so it has been a while. But that's really because I haven't been able to resell as much as I want because we go out of town a lot, and reselling when you're on vacation a lot is hard. If you're going away for a weekend, that's no big deal, but we often go down to California to visit family for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, so it can be hard to resell when you're doing that. Luckily, I've been able to make some changes in my reselling business so that we can still have things ship out while we're gone. I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes when I go over kind of the changes I've made and how I'm reselling these days, but first I'm going to jump onto the computer and show you my numbers. Okay, so let's do numbers first since I know that's what most people are most interested in, and then we can go into my top 5 sales, my worst sale, my fastest sale, and just how I'm kind of reselling and the changes that I'm making these days. So we're here in my Vendoo account, and I'm just going to go over to analytics, and I'm going to go in and change it to February 1st through 28th so we can see the whole month at a glance. This is Vendoo. I've talked about it a million times. I use it to cross-post my items and kind of keep track of everything. As you can see, their analytics are super helpful in seeing what you've sold, what you've listed, average sale price, all this kind of stuff. I have a link down in the description box below if you want to check that out and get 25% off your first month. So you can check that out. But here I am in my analytics. So I sold a total of 18 items. I listed 62 items total, which is a lot higher than I usually do. And that's because I've been able to make some changes and make it a lot easier for me to resell more consistently with us being out of town a lot. So I'll talk about that in a second. And so my total revenue was $577.82 and my total profit was $273.07. So that's after cost of goods, marketplace fees, and the fees for the place that's fulfilling most of my orders for me, which I guess, again, I'll talk about in a second. My average sale price went down a little bit from $35.22 to $32.10, which isn't that bad. And then let's see, all of my sales were on Poshmark and eBay this last month. So I did $394.82 on eBay, and so 68% of my revenue was from eBay. And then I did $183 on Poshmark, and 31% of my 31.67% of my revenue was from Poshmark. This is actually higher than usual. Usually Poshmark's maybe like 20%. But those are the basic numbers. And then as always, I like to talk about how much time I spent working. So now we're in my toggle, which is what I use to track my time, and I want to see how much time I've spent reselling in February. So we'll do February 1 through 28 and see what I did. So really I spent 24 hours and 24 minutes reselling in the month of February, and if we click on that, we can break it down a little bit. Oh, wait, actually, let's go back. Click on this. So I spent about 2 hours cross-posting, 3 minutes shipping to Ebliss, which I'll talk about in a second, but I think it was longer than that. I don't know why that didn't track all the way. 3 hours and 53 minutes on inventory, which is usually me sorting inventory, washing inventory, putting inventory in my spreadsheet, stuff like that. 2 hours and 57 minutes listing, 3 hours and 22 minutes doing photos, a whole almost 2 minutes relisting via Vendoo, 12 hours sourcing, which is my favorite part anyway, and then 3 minutes kind of putting stuff together for ThreadUp. So this isn't 100% accurate because sometimes I'll forget things. Like with this Ebliss shipment, it probably took me about 10 or 15 minutes to get the shipment together for them, but for some reason I only tracked 3 minutes of it. Maybe because I make my husband do that. I just print out the labels and stuff, so I don't track his time. He probably took like 15 or 20 minutes putting everything in a box, boxing it up, all that. Okay, now that you've seen my numbers for February, you can see that obviously this is still very much a side hustle for me. I'm really trying to build it up more, and my goal as of right now is to have it be a part-time income and bring a profit of about $1,000 a month. I might change that in the future, but as of right now, that's my goal. Working very little on it. So you saw I worked about 25 hours for the month on it. I am in building mode right now, so I am spending a little bit more time on it and not getting as much profit from it, but that's how reselling works. You kind of have to put a lot of time and effort up front, getting things listed and getting a lot of stuff in your inventory and listed online. So now let's go over some of the changes that I've made and why I'm actually able to start reselling more these days. I kind of stopped for the most part because we just are traveling too much and it wasn't worth putting the time into it and then not being able to sell stuff and having to take stuff down every time we went out of town. But now I'm working with Ebliss Reseller Solutions, and I actually ship most of my inventory to them, and they store it and ship it out for me when things sell. And this is a little bit more of an overhead cost. It is costing me about $5 an item for them to provide that service to me. But it does mean that I can keep selling stuff even when I'm not home. So when we go out of town for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, things are still being shipped out. So I don't have to take things down and kind of have all my sales come to a halt. This has been really great for me, not just because we're able to continue to resell when we're out of town, but also because it's helping me focus on higher profit items because there is that extra overhead, and I don't have to worry about shipping items even when I'm home. They send items out really quickly, a lot faster than I normally would. So it really has been helpful to have Ebliss storing and shipping all my items. And I think I'm going to continue doing that. Right now, since I'm still pretty low volume, I'm sending them about 20 to 30 items per month and building up my inventory that way. It might increase or decrease in the future, but as of right now, that's what I'm doing, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm excited to see how my sales continue to grow instead of grow and then stop when we go out of town and I have to take everything down, and then grow a little bit and stop. So that's the biggest change in my business, and this is also exciting because if we do decide to go back on the road and RV again, I can just ship them stuff from anywhere in the country. I just list it, ship it to them, and then they can ship it out to my customers, and I don't have to keep a bunch of inventory in our RV. Right now we have a pretty small house and I don't have a lot of storage space, so it's really nice having someone else store everything and ship everything for me. If you are interested in checking out Ebliss, I do have an affiliate link down below. I believe you get a discount on your first month. And all you have to do is get on a call with them, and they are super nice and they will explain the whole process to you. And for me, it's totally worth it. Some other changes I made are I'm gonna drop Facebook Marketplace. I'm just not getting any views on there. And even when I was selling things on there, it wasn't very often. So as of right now, I'm just gonna drop Facebook Marketplace. And then something really annoying happened and I got my Mercari account hacked into. I guess I didn't have two-step verification or whatever it's called on, where it texts you before it lets you log in. So someone got into my account, changed my phone number, changed my password, changed my email address, and bought a bunch of stuff. Luckily, my bank took care of the charges and canceled my card, and that's not a big deal, but I've been trying to get Mercari to do something about this, and at first, they initially responded within like 12 hours when I emailed them, but now they are completely unresponsive. And it's been almost 2 weeks now, and I have not heard back from Mercari about my account, so I'm just writing it off and I'm assuming that I'm just not going to get it back. Mercari wasn't a huge part of my business, but I did like having stuff cross-posted there because I do make a few sales here and there. But as of right now, Mercari's off the list. I'm still going to email them and try and get my account back because I don't like the idea of someone else having access to my account. I have a bunch of stuff listed on there, and I do have reviews on there. But as of right now, I'm going to assume that account is gone, and I'm just writing off Mercari for now. So hopefully they can give me my account back. If not, it is what it is. Luckily, I didn't have a balance in there, I don't believe, from any sales. So I didn't lose any money. It's just really annoying. So right now my focus is eBay and Poshmark, which is where I make most of my sales anyway, as you can see from the numbers that I showed you. And I'm going to use Vendoo to cross-post, and I'm going to use Ebliss to store and ship my items. And I'm really liking the way I'm getting a really good process down and optimizing everything and outsourcing what I can. This way I can continue to resell while making it still very part-time and still make a little bit of money. So I'm excited to see how I grow now that I have this really good process down, and I will definitely keep sharing with you as well. So now let's talk about my sales. Let's start with my worst sale. My worst sale was a shirt I got from the bins. It was probably a couple months ago, and I just didn't list it because I just had it in a box somewhere. It is a pink, like, vintage Oregon shirt, and I listed it, and I realized as I was listing it, or I realized as I was taking photos of it, that there was a little stain on the bottom. So I listed it anyway because I had it, and it ended up selling for $10 plus shipping. So my profit on that was about $3.33 after everything. It did sell in 4 days. I think I had it up for $20 and took a $10 offer because it had a stain on it and I just wanted to get it out. So that wasn't my best sale, but hey, I didn't lose any money. My fastest sale was this Sherpa Adventure Gear sweater. I believe it was merino wool, but it was a brand I'd never seen before, but I could tell by touching it that it might be worth something. So I looked it up online and I listed it for $39.99, and it sold within less than 24 hours for $39.99. So I sold that on eBay and my profit was $26.31 on that. And then my top 5 sales for the month. The first one was an O'Neill jacket. I actually bought it during garage sale season last year, so I probably had it for about 6 months. And I finally got it listed. I was like, I need to get this listed. Skiing and snowboarding season is almost over, so I need to get this out. So I went ahead and listed it, and it was getting a lot of watchers, but nobody was buying it. And I was sending out offers, and I was trying to get someone to buy it, and no one was buying it. So I went ahead and I think I originally had it listed at $69.99, and I switched it over to an auction to see if I could get people moving on it, because I just didn't want to end up holding on to it again after the season was over. So I think I listed it for $39.99 or maybe $49.99 with a $69.99 buy it now. So someone did end up buying that as a buy it now on eBay, and my profit on that was $52.73, and it sold it in about 14 days. Next up was a Tommy Bahama lot. I did show a bunch of Tommy Bahama that I got during a fill-a-bag sale. I did do a haul on that. It was my last video if you want to go check that out. I will put a card here so that you can check it out. And I tried to lot up everything because there's a lot of Tommy Bahama out there on eBay and on Poshmark, and I just wanted to get it moving. So I tried to give people deals by lotting things up in similar styles or similar sizes. So these were reversible like sweaters. They're like 100% cotton reversible sweaters. I think one was a V-neck, and then two of them were like quarter zip pullovers. And I put them on eBay and Poshmark. I paid about 50 cents each, so it was about $1.50 for all 3 items. And it ended up selling on Poshmark in about 8 days for $45. I think I originally had it up for $50, and then I dropped the price to $45, and it sold right away. I think it was during one of those promotions where if you drop the price, they will cover a shipping discount. So I dropped the price 10% from $50 to $45. It ended up selling pretty quickly, and my profit for that after Poshmark fees and what I paid was $30.50. Next up were some MBX jeans from Ross during their Ross clearance. I got a bunch of stuff back in January, and I paid $1.49 for these jeans. They sold in 13 days on Poshmark for $34. My profit on those after everything was $20.71. Next up was another clearance find from Ross. These weren't quite as cheap as a lot of the other stuff I got from Ross, but they were $8.49, and I did look them up to make sure that they'd be worth picking up. And they were these black Skechers. They ended up selling on eBay for $49.99, which was the full price, in about 4 days. So my profit on those was $31.04. And then my last of my top sales was that Sherpa Adventure Gear sweater that I shared about, which was also my fastest sale. Like I said, those sold in less than 24 hours, and my profit on those was $26.31. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick reseller report, or whatever you want to call it, for February. If you like videos like this, definitely comment down below that you like them so that I can continue to make them. My goal right now is to spend maybe about 25 hours a month working on this reselling business and eventually get it to the point where I am making about $1,000 in profit. So I think that I can do that definitely by the end of the year. I'm so excited to be reselling again, and I am so thankful that I found Ebliss so that I can continue reselling even though we go out of town a lot. As long as you like these videos, I will keep sharing them with you. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos from me.